Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. So, several days ago, I did a video on Kanye West and Candace Owens. Well, it wasn't on them necessarily. It was pertaining to them to some extent. And in the video, I stated that in the Breitbart News article, there was a picture of Kanye West and Candace Owens with with T-shirts, one black, one white, with the words "White Lives Matter" on it. But I didn't emphasize that. I didn't go into the details about this or how controversial. I may have mentioned something about how controversial that may have been. Well, apparently, according to Epoch Times article, which I'm going to get to in a minute in detail, is that Kanye West has received death threats, needless to say, from wearing this T-shirt. I'm not surprised at all. I knew something was going to happen, but death threats, that shows you the country we live in. So let's get into this article. And it says, hip-hop artist Kanye West touched on a range of hot-button topics in October 6th interview on Tucker Carlson tonight, including why he donned a T-shirt with the words "White Lives Matter" and revealing he received death threats for his embrace of former President Donald Trump. The musician, also known as Ye, turned heads when during his Yeezy Season 9 collection presentation in Paris, France on October 3rd, he wore a T-shirt featuring the words "White Lives Matter." At the Paris event, West was joined by conservative commentator Candace Owens, who wore a matching T-shirt and later took to Twitter to share images of the garment, and some of you may have seen this, which featured the late Pope Paul II, on the front and the words "White Lives Matter" on the back. And once again, there's a T-shirt with Candace Owens on the left. She has on a white T-shirt and the words "White Lives Matter" on the back of her T-shirt in black letters, and Kanye West on the right with a black T-shirt with the words "White Lives Matter" in white letters. You can see that they're sending a message, but clearly this is a message that some people just have a problem with. Let's go on. The T-shirt sparked some controversy on social media, with Temple University professor and BET host Mark Lamont Hill calling West's decision to wear the T-shirt, quote, "disgusting, dangerous, and irresponsible." Really? But it's okay to wear Black Lives Matter T-shirts and it's okay to wear those T-shirts. It's okay to spray paint buildings with those words. It's okay to paint the words Black Lives Matter on streets. It's okay for the NFL to plaster it on the field, while at the same time, the Black Lives Matter organization and the Black Lives Matter foot soldiers were causing all kinds of chaos all over the country, assaulting people, and not only assaulting people, but also killing people. It's perfectly okay for that. And what lives have the Black Lives Matter organization, global organization, what lives or black lives have they really helped? I rest my case. In his interview with Tucker Carlson, West said his decision to wear the T-shirt came from a sense that it was the right thing to do and was based on his conviction that all life is precious. And I agree with him. All life is precious. You can't be hypocritical, which is what Black Lives Matter organization, global organization is. It's hypocritical. Nothing more than a neo-Marxist communist front group. But I haven't said that before, so I'm not going to go into details of that. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, he said, adding that it was an expression of, quote, a black man stating the obvious. The answer to why I wrote "White Lives Matter" on a shirt is because they do, West said. It's the obvious thing. The phrase "White Lives Matter" originated in 2015 as a response to the Black Lives Matter BLM movement, which protested the deaths of black men at the hands of police. In 2020, BLM protests often turned violent, with mobs vandalizing property and police vehicles. Bingo. West told Carlson that he received a threatening phone call over the T-shirt. I had someone call me last night and said, now here's the thing. Watch this now. This is what West said. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit. That means they are going to beat them up if I wear it. I'm like, okay, green light me then, West said. Now, let me say this. It says he had someone call him last night. Now, how many of these calls he's getting, he didn't say. He just said here in this interview, someone called him, said that if anybody wearing that T-shirt, according to Kanye West, that this person said that if anyone wearing a T-shirt, they would be greenlit, or which I guess means to be beat up or whatever, or assaulted. That doesn't mean that everyone, this is just one person. It doesn't mean that everyone wants to do this, okay? But it does reflect the mindset of a lot of unstable-minded people. It does reflect their mindset, because anytime you want to assault someone physically for something that they wear, the problem is not what they wear. The problem is with you, because the word White Lives Matter, how is it provoking you to anger to want to put your hands on someone? How is it provoking you? Give me a logical reason for that. Does White Lives Matter? If the answer to that is yes, then what's the issue? What's the issue? West also addressed why he was wearing a lanyard of his own design featuring a photograph of a baby's ultrasound. It just represents life and pro-life, the artist told Carson, who then asked about people's reaction. West replied by saying he doesn't care how people react to it, as the decision to wear it is about his own self-expression. And let me say this here. If this is sincere and this is not some kind of conspiracy thing to cause people to be divided or whatever, if he's sincere in what he's doing, okay, because I was never into Kanye West. I was never into the modern day hip hop. I wasn't into it in the 80s. I liked some of the songs, but I really wasn't into it then. I'm not into it now. So I'm not speaking of, I'm not a Kanye West fan or a Jay-Z fan or any of that. And please don't nobody say in the comment box, well, you don't listen to hip hop. How can you say anything about what he's doing? I'm not talking about his music. I'm talking about what he's representing. Talking about what he's representing, what he's doing here, not his music. So I don't know about the comments about I don't have to listen to hip hop music. The point is, I was never into hip hop music, but if his statement here is sincere, then he has a right to say, I don't care. And I respect him with having an attitude. I don't care what people say. I don't care how people react. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It's my self-expression. Why is that a problem? We're in America. We have a free right to do what we want to do. If everybody in this country, and this is my comment, obviously, if people can walk around with all kinds of shirts and stuff and do what they want to do, if people can walk around, living a gay lifestyle, being a transgender, wanting to be a car, a tree, or whatever, which is their choice. But if they can go around and freely do these type of things with all the protection in the world on their behalf, how come Kanye West or other people can't wear shirts that represent what they feel and what they believe in? Can't have your cake and eat it too. Isn't this America? Freedom of speech, freedom of expression? He goes on to say, I care about the fact that there is more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. So here he's showing facts. He's giving facts. Something a lot of these leftist celebrities don't seem to do. Here's a celebrity who appears to be a conservative, at least have conservative ways, or playing a part of a conservative if you're really not, who's giving facts. He said that 50% of black deaths in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's response. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God, West said. West made waves when, during the 2016 and 2020 elections, he was regularly seen wearing the red Make America Great Again hat that is associated with Trump's political movement. In an interview with Carson, West said wearing the MAGA hat made him a target. MAGA. My so-called friends / handlers around me told me, why did he say that? Told me if I said that I like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over, Kanye said. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. That's a shame. They threatened my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat, he added. West also said that people tried to subject him to political manipulation through his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. Yes, there is some manipulation, he said, adding, me not saying I like Trump was a form of manipulation. Asked why he liked Trump, West said it was because he saw the former president as an embodiment of conservative values. All the values the conservatives value just line up, he said. West also said he's been subject to repeated attacks in the media. We are in a battle with the media. The majority of the media has a godless agenda, he said. And that's the end of that article. I mean, look, whether or not West is sincere about this or what, look, I have no clue. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But let's assume that he is sincere. The whole idea of someone threatening him over this T-shirt that he's wearing is ridiculous. It's crazy. But I kind of suspected that something like that would happen anyway, because that's the country we're living in now, a country that's becoming increasingly more divided. Even though Biden said he was going to be the great unifier in all of human history, he was going to unify our country and be the one bringing everybody together. Certainly he doesn't seem to be bringing everybody together the way I see it. If anything, he's separating everybody with his rhetoric. But anyway, he's a true rhetoric pusher. Excuse me. He's a true rhetoric pusher, Biden is. I don't believe it was Trump. I believe it was and is Biden pushing rhetoric and keeping people divided. But anyway, the situation with Kanye West, I hope that this doesn't happen. I hope and pray that people that wear these shirts are not persecuted or assaulted for this. If you do wear them, I mean, I'm praying for you. I really am. I mean, you will become a target. You will become a target from radical people, radical leftist people for the most part. I don't think any conservatives are going to try to assault someone wearing these shirts. I don't really think that's going to be the case, even though people like to talk about extreme right, which I'm trying to figure out to this day what extreme right really is. I could say, I could guess that the extreme right is someone who takes conservative values to the extreme in the sense that they're willing to commit acts of violence to do it. Now, the only kind of extremist rightist situation that I could think of would be January 6th. But most people have forgotten about January 6th because it wasn't really violent, was it? The guards let them in, did they not? Did those people that went in there inside, which for one, it wasn't an insurrection, by the way, so we can just forget about all that. But did they violently push their way in there? Guards let them in. Guards let them inside. So was that violence? You could put that as an extreme right situation, but most people have forgotten about that because it's forgotten about. Okay, it wasn't all that severe. It was these riots committed by Black Lives Matter and Antifa that was the problem. That the left tried to cover up in the mainstream media but couldn't cover up. It's hard to cover up a burning building when you're living right there in the neighborhood and you got cameras there. It's harder like trying to cover it up when you got the camera on the reporter and people see smoke rising up and some flames in the background. Kind of hard to cover that up. But nevertheless, I'm praying and hoping that nothing like this crazy does happen. Clearly, Candace Owens and Kanye West is sending a message that white lives do matter. You can't have two extremes. Now, police officers that abuse their power, yes, they need to be dealt with. Yes, they need to be disciplined, okay, because they're abusing their power. But how many police officers are actually abusing their power? How many police officers, how many of them are actually abusing their power? 99.9% of them are using their power the right way. But the mainstream media harps on white police officers shooting so-called unarmed black people and harp on it. And the way they spin it, they spin the narratives as if the white police officer shot the black person simply because they are black. Y'all know that's the truth. That's exactly how they spin it because that's exactly how people perceive it. And what happens? You get all this kind of ruckus going on. That is not true. That's a lie, period, bottom line. A lie. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. That's a lie. That is not true. Okay? But You got all this stuff being stirred up among the people. So, of course, you're going to have all kinds of division. Of course, you're going to have all kinds of aggravation and frustration and anger and resentment, which really, once again, is all by design. But this situation here, I'm praying and hoping that it doesn't go to that route, because white lives do matter. All lives matter. You have something, one service said, all lives matter. All lives matter. White lives matter. Black lives, they all matter. We're all made in the image of God. All our lives matter. And to use to harp on this old so-called Black Lives Matter at the expense of white lives, innocent white lives, is hypocritical, ludicrous, demonic, and evil. And that's my spin on it. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.